As I sit here reflecting on my life at 70, I can't help but notice how my perspective on people and relationships has shifted. Life has taught me countless lessons, many of which revolve around understanding what truly matters and what doesn't. In my younger years, I was always surrounded by people, friends, family, and acquaintances. I thrived on socializing, meeting new people, and forging connections. But as I grew older, I began to realize that not all relationships are beneficial. In fact, many can be draining, and some even toxic. Now, at 70, I've come to a conclusion that may surprise you. I avoid people now, and here's why. When you're young, you're often told that social connections are everything. You're encouraged to network, to build relationships, and to maintain a busy social calendar. While this is great for career development and personal growth during your formative years, it's not always sustainable as you age. As I grew older, I began to notice how exhausting it became to constantly be around others. The small talk, the obligations, and the constant need to maintain a facade were no longer appealing to me. In my 70s, I've realized that it's okay to embrace solitude, and in many ways, it's essential for my mental and emotional well-being. A big reason I avoid people now is the realization that not all relationships are meaningful. As I reflect on my life, I see that many of the friendships I once valued were built on superficial connections or societal expectations. People often come and go in life, and sometimes, the connections we invest so much time in aren't truly fulfilling. I've learned that quality is far more important than quantity when it comes to relationships. I'd rather have a few genuine friends who truly understand me than a wide circle of people who only know the surface version of who I am. As I get older, I also find myself gravitating toward a quieter, more peaceful lifestyle. There's something incredibly soothing about spending time alone, surrounded by nature or simply enjoying the quiet moments in life. People, for all their good intentions, can be noisy, both literally and figuratively. The constant chatter, the drama, the gossip, it all becomes too much. I've learned that I don't need to constantly surround myself with others to feel fulfilled. The silence has become my sanctuary, and I cherish it more than I ever did before. Another reason I avoid people now is that I've come to recognize how much energy social interactions drain from me. When you're younger, you have more energy to give, and you may not even notice how exhausting certain relationships can be. But as you age, your energy becomes more precious. I no longer have the same capacity for extended social engagements or for dealing with people who drain me emotionally. I've learned to prioritize my own well-being, and that means saying no to situations that deplete my energy, even if they come from people I once cared about. Over the years, I've also become more selective about who I spend time with. In the past, I would tolerate relationships out of obligation or fear of missing out. Now, I've realized that I don't need to be everywhere or do everything. I've grown comfortable with the idea of saying no and turning down invitations. It's not that I don't value the people who reach out to me, it's just that I've learned to prioritize my own peace of mind. I no longer feel the need to please others or keep up with societal expectations of constant socialization. One of the most freeing aspects of avoiding people now is the realization that I no longer have to explain myself. In my younger years, I often felt compelled to justify my decisions to others. If I didn't want to go to a party or attend a family gathering, would offer explanations or make excuses. Now, at 70, I've come to understand that I don't owe anyone an explanation. My time is mine to spend as I see fit, and if I choose solitude over socialization, that's my prerogative. Another aspect of avoiding people is the peace it brings. Relationships, even the best ones, can bring stress and conflict. Disagreements happen, feelings get hurt, and misunderstandings arise. While I value the few close relationships I have, I also understand that not every relationship is worth the trouble. The older I get, the less willing I am to tolerate conflict or negativity. If someone brings stress into my life, I no longer feel obligated to keep them around. I've learned that peace is worth more than maintaining every connection. Additionally, as I age, I've become more attuned to the fleeting nature of time. Life is short, and I don't want to waste precious moments on relationships that don't serve me. I want to spend my time doing what makes me happy, whether that's pursuing hobbies, reading, traveling, or simply enjoying the quiet moments that come with age. Time spent with people who don't add value to my life feels like time wasted, and I've learned to be more mindful of how I invest my time. As we age, our priorities change. In my younger years, I was focused on building a career, making connections, and fitting in with societal norms. Now, at 70, my focus is on maintaining my health, preserving my peace of mind, and spending time with those who truly matter. I've learned that not everyone needs to be in my life, and that's okay. It's a liberating realization that allows me to focus on what truly brings me joy and fulfillment. I've also come to understand that people change, and not always in ways that are compatible with who I am. As we age, we evolve, and sometimes our paths diverge from those we once considered close. People grow in different directions, and sometimes those differences make it difficult to maintain the same level of connection. I've learned to accept that it's okay for relationships to fade, and that it's often better to let go of people who no longer align with my values or my journey. Another reason I avoid people now is that I've learned to embrace my own company. I don't feel lonely when I'm by myself, in fact, I enjoy it. I've discovered that I can be my own best friend, and I'm not afraid to spend time alone. There's a certain freedom in being content with your own company, and it's something that comes with age. I no longer feel the pressure to be constantly surrounded by others to feel validated or fulfilled. As I age, I've also become more aware of the emotional toll that some relationships can take. People can be demanding, critical, or inconsiderate, and I've learned that I don't have to tolerate behavior that is harmful to my emotional well-being. If someone in my life is negative or toxic, I no longer feel the need to keep them around out of a sense of obligation. I've learned to protect my emotional health by distancing myself from people who drain me. The final reason I avoid people now is simply that I've come to appreciate the beauty of solitude. It's in the quiet moments that I find clarity, peace, and a deep sense of connection to myself. In my younger years, I thought I needed others to find happiness and meaning. But now, I realize that happiness comes from within. Solitude has become a cherished part of my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, here I am at 70, embracing the peace that comes with avoiding people. It's not that I don't appreciate the people I love and care about, but I've learned that my time and energy are precious, and I don't have to share them with everyone. As I continue this journey of aging, I find comfort in the quiet, in solitude, and in the realization that it's okay to prioritize myself. And that, perhaps, is the greatest gift I've given myself. As I continue to reflect on my choice to avoid people, it's important to emphasize that this decision doesn't stem from bitterness or a dislike of others. It's not that I've turned away from the world or shut myself off from love and connection. Far from it. I still cherish the meaningful relationships I have, but I've learned to be more discerning about where I invest my time and energy. In my earlier years, I may have felt compelled to be everywhere, to keep up with everyone, and to meet every expectation placed upon me. Now, I understand that true peace comes from choosing what is best for me, not what is expected of me. There's also a profound sense of liberation in choosing solitude. In my youth, I was often caught up in the noise of the world, trying to keep up with the fast pace of life. The pressure to stay relevant, to stay connected, and to be constantly available was overwhelming. But now, as an older adult, I've learned to embrace the stillness. I've come to appreciate the simple pleasures, like a cup of tea in the morning, a walk in the park, or reading a good book without interruption. These moments, though small, bring a deep sense of contentment that no social event or gathering ever could. This newfound love for solitude has also allowed me to rediscover hobbies and interests that I had forgotten about or neglected over the years. When you spend less time with others, you have more time to explore what truly brings you joy. For me, this has meant picking up painting again, gardening, and even learning to play a musical instrument. These activities aren't just distractions, they're pathways to reconnecting with myself, to nurturing my soul. I've found that when I'm not consumed with the demands of others, I can cultivate my own happiness. There's also a deep sense of clarity that comes with spending time alone. When you're constantly surrounded by people, it's easy to get lost in the noise, to lose sight of your own values and desires. But when you step back and embrace solitude, you give yourself the space to reflect on who you really are and what you truly want from life. At 70, I find myself more in tune with my inner voice than ever before. I no longer feel the need to conform to the expectations of others or to chase after things that don't resonate with my true self. Of course, this doesn't mean that I've completely isolated myself from the world. I still have a close-knit group of friends and family members who understand and respect my need for space. These relationships are based on mutual understanding and respect, rather than obligation. I've learned to surround myself with people who bring positivity and love into my life, and who accept me for who I am, not for what they expect me to be. This has been one of the most valuable lessons of my later years, that not all relationships need to be constant, and that quality matters far more than quantity. Another reason I avoid people now is that I've learned the hard way that some people simply aren't good for my mental health. In the past, I would tolerate negative or toxic relationships because I thought it was just part of life. I believed that I had to accept people as they were, flaws and all. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that I don't need to subject myself to negativity. Life is too short to spend time with people who drain you, criticize you, or make you feel less than. I've learned to set boundaries, to say no, and to walk away from relationships that don't contribute to my well-being. This awareness of the impact others can have on my mental health has also made me more careful about the people I allow into my life. In my younger years, I was often too eager to please, to fit in, and to maintain relationships even when they weren't serving me. Now, I've learned that it's okay to prioritize myself and my mental health. If someone makes me feel anxious, stressed, or emotionally exhausted, I have no problem distancing myself. My peace is too valuable to sacrifice for the sake of keeping up appearances or maintaining a connection that isn't beneficial. As I age, I also find that I have less tolerance for drama. I've lived through enough ups and downs in life to recognize that many of the conflicts and issues people face are, at their core, distractions from what really matters. In my younger years, I might have gotten caught up in office politics, family drama, or the latest social gossip. But now, I've come to see these things for what they are, time wasters. I'm no longer interested in engaging in drama or conflict. I've learned to let go of situations and people who thrive on negativity, choosing instead to focus on the things that bring me peace. One of the greatest gifts that aging has given me is the ability to accept my own limitations. When I was younger, I pushed myself to be everything to everyone. I tried to be the best friend, the perfect parent, the dutiful colleague, the social butterfly. But as I've grown older, I've learned to embrace the fact that I can't do it all, and that's okay. I've realized that I don't have to be constantly available to others, and that it's okay to say no when I need to. This has been an incredibly freeing realization, one that has allowed me to live more authentically and without guilt. At 70, I've also become more aware of the fleeting nature of life. The years seem to pass more quickly now, and I've learned to appreciate every moment. I've learned that time is the most precious resource we have, and I want to spend mine wisely. That means choosing to spend my time with people who uplift me, who make me feel loved and valued, and who share my interests and values. I no longer feel the need to maintain superficial connections or to attend events out of a sense of obligation. If I'm going to spend my time with others, I want it to be meaningful and enriching. There's also a deeper sense of self-awareness that comes with age. I've had enough experiences in life to understand who I am, what I need, and what I value. I no longer feel the pressure to constantly seek validation from others. At 70, I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I no longer feel the need to impress anyone or prove anything. This sense of self-assurance has made it easier to choose solitude over socializing. I don't need the approval of others to feel good about myself, and that's incredibly liberating. The wisdom that comes with age also means that I'm more attuned to the impermanence of life. I've lost loved ones, seen friendships fade, and witnessed the passage of time in ways that have left me more introspective. Life is fragile, and I've come to realize that every moment spent with people who don't align with my values or my sense of peace is a moment lost. I'd rather spend my time focusing on the things that truly matter to me, whether that's my health, my passions, or the small, meaningful relationships that bring me joy. There's also a certain peace that comes with embracing the reality of aging. I'm no longer afraid of growing older or of being alone. I've come to accept that these are natural parts of life. Instead of fearing the future, I've learned to embrace it with open arms, knowing that the years I have left are mine to shape. I don't need to spend them trying to please others or live up to anyone's expectations. I can live for myself, and that's enough. Of course, there are still moments when I miss the companionship of others. I'm human, after all, and there are times when I long for connection and intimacy. But those moments are fewer and farther between now. I've learned to fill the gaps with things that bring me peace, whether that's spending time in nature, reflecting on my life, or enjoying the simple pleasures that come with age. I've come to understand that while human connection is important, it's not the only source of happiness. As I continue to age, I know that my preferences may shift again. The future is uncertain, and life has a way of surprising us. But for now, at 70, I've found a way of living that suits me. I've learned to value solitude, to embrace the quiet, and to be discerning about the people I allow into my life. It's a choice that has brought me greater peace and fulfillment, and I wouldn't change it for anything. In the end, the most important lesson I've learned is that it's okay to prioritize yourself. It's okay to choose solitude over social obligations, to avoid people who drain your energy, and to live life on your own terms. Aging isn't about retreating from the world, it's about understanding what truly matters and making choices that align with your values. At 70, I've found a sense of peace and contentment that I never could have imagined in my younger years. And that, to me, is the true gift of growing older. As I look ahead, I realize that embracing solitude at this stage of life has allowed me to grow in ways I never expected. With fewer distractions, I've found myself able to focus more deeply on my inner world and explore aspects of myself that I had previously overlooked. For example, I've become more attuned to my thoughts, my emotions, and my intuition. When you're surrounded by people all the time, it's easy to get caught up in external influences, but now, in my quieter moments, I feel more connected to my authentic self. This is a gift that age has bestowed upon me, an ability to tune out the noise of the world and listen more closely to what truly matters. In addition, this newfound solitude has given me the space to reflect on my past and make sense of the journey I've traveled. I've had time to revisit old memories, understand the lessons they taught me, and recognize the growth that has occurred over the years. There's something profoundly comforting about reflecting on one's life, knowing that you've made it through challenges, celebrated successes, and experienced the full range of human emotions. As I look back, I'm no longer consumed by regrets or missed opportunities. I've made peace with the past, and that peace has allowed me to be more present in the here and now. Another surprising benefit of avoiding people has been the sense of clarity it has brought to my goals and priorities. In my younger years, I was often chasing after external markers of success, career achievements, societal approval, and constant socializing. Now, at 70, I've realized that true fulfillment comes from within. My goals have shifted. I want to experience life at my own pace, without the pressure to compete or meet others' expectations. I've stopped measuring my success by the standards set by society and started defining it on my own terms. This shift has brought a sense of liberation, allowing me to focus on what genuinely brings me joy and peace. Along with this shift in priorities comes a deeper understanding of the importance of self-care. In my earlier years, I was often caught up in taking care of others, whether it was family, friends, or colleagues. But now, I've learned that in order to give my best to others, I must first take care of myself. I've embraced the idea of nurturing my own body and mind, and I've found that this self-care not only benefits me but also allows me to show up more fully for the people who truly matter in my life. It's a reminder that we cannot pour from an empty cup, and by prioritizing myself, I'm able to give more to those I love. The more I embrace solitude, the more I realize that there's beauty in simplicity. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, it's easy to become consumed by complexity, whether it's juggling multiple commitments, keeping up with technology, or trying to meet the demands of others. But now, I've come to appreciate the simple things in life: a quiet evening at home, a leisurely walk in the garden, or a quiet afternoon spent reading. These moments, though ordinary, bring me a sense of peace and contentment that no extravagant experience ever could. I've learned that happiness doesn't come from the big events or social gatherings, but from the small, everyday moments that often go unnoticed.